You ever look at a really complex system, something like immigration or tax law, and just wonder, how does some people seem to just sail right through it while everyone else gets tangled up in knots? Well, I can tell you, it's not about luck. It's about knowing the playbook. And in this explainer, we're going to decode those unwritten rules that separate success from failure in these really high-stakes systems.
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? You can have two people, same situation, same set of rules to follow, but they get completely different outcomes. One person gets the visa, they get the tax break, the big approval. The other one, just delays, denials, and a whole lot of frustration. The difference is almost never what's actually written on the form.
The secret, it turns out, is to look behind the rules. It's all about understanding the system's true goals, its hidden pressure points, and all the tripwires you don't see coming. So today, we're going to build a framework to see that underlying logic and hopefully turn you from just a participant into a true system master. All right, here's how we're going to break it down. 4 core principles. First, we'll learn how to decode the system's real incentives. Then, we're going to explore the amazing power of being proactive. After that, we'll see why the way you set things up at the very beginning is so critical. And finally, we'll learn how to spot and just completely sidestep those unseen tripwires. Okay, first up, Principle 1, decode the incentive. This is, without a doubt, the foundation for everything else. Instead of just asking, okay, what's the rule? The person who gets it right asks, why does this rule even exist in the first place? What are they trying to get me to do? So what exactly is a system incentive? Well, it's the goal behind the rule. A government doesn't just create a tax break out of the goodness of its heart. It's actively trying to encourage people to do something specific, like, say, provide more housing or invest in a certain industry. Understanding that goal, that's your key. Let's take a look at this example. The rule might say, you can deduct property depreciation. Okay, sounds like a boring accounting detail. But the incentive, well, that tells the real story. The government wants you, a private investor, to help solve the national housing shortage. Once you get that, you stop seeing real estate as just a property and start seeing it as a partnership with the government's own objectives. It's a total game changer. And here's the thing you have to remember. These incentives can and do change. For decades, good moral character for immigration just meant you hadn't done a list of bad things. But pretty recently, the system's incentive totally shifted. Now, it's not enough to just avoid the negatives. The system wants to see positive contributions. Community involvement, a steady job. This just goes to show you that mastering a system isn't a one-time thing. You have to keep decoding the current incentive. This leads us right into Principle 2, the proactive advantage. See, most people, they wait. They wait to be asked for information. They're reactive. But the experts, they know that providing information before anyone even asks for it can be one of the most powerful moves you can possibly make. Now check this out. This bit of expert analysis really pulls back the curtain on a critical mechanism inside the machine. When your case is just sitting there, stalled in some giant bureaucracy, uploading new evidence nobody asked for, can actually trigger an alert in their system. And that simple action can get a real person, an officer, to pull your file from the bottom of a huge digital pile and put it right on top. You're basically using the system's own wiring to get its attention. But there's a psychological angle to this too. Just try to put yourself in the shoes of an overworked case officer for a second. When you submit a really robust case right from the get-go with way more evidence than is technically required, you're signaling competence. You're telling that officer, hey, this case is solid, it's an easy approval. It makes their job simpler and it gives them way less incentive to hit you with a request for more information that'll cause a huge delay. And believe me, this is the cycle you want to avoid at all costs. The second a request for evidence, or RFE, gets issued, your case grinds to a halt. It's just paused. And once you finally respond, you don't just get to pick up where you left off. Oh no, your case goes all the way to the back of a very, very long line. Being proactive is your #1 defense against this massive, soul-crushing delay. Okay, on to principle 3. Architect your structure. You know, some decisions are small and easily fixed, but others form the very foundation of your entire case. Getting these foundational choices right at the beginning is absolutely critical because they are often the hardest, if not totally impossible, to change later on. Think about a new business owner trying to choose between an LLC or an S-Corp. It's a classic structural decision. When you're just starting out, the LLC is simpler and it makes sense, but there's this critical inflection point. As your profits start getting close to that $50,000 mark, the really high self-employment tax you're paying with an LLC starts to hurt. And at that point, suddenly, the administrative costs of an S-Corp actually become the cheaper option, saving you thousands of dollars. And in the world of immigration, the stakes of that foundation are just so much higher. An old, maybe even forgotten petition that was never officially withdrawn can bring a brand new, perfectly good case to a dead stop. Why? Because the system sees your entire history as a single structure, and any cracks in that old foundation, no matter how small they might seem to you, can completely destabilize everything you're trying to build on top of it. All right, finally, let's talk about principle 4, avoid unseen tripwires. These are the really critical, non-obvious mistakes. You're not going to find these on any official checklist. They're the kinds of errors that can instantly derail your entire effort, usually with no warning whatsoever. So we're going to look at 3 of these in detail, using the wrong online portal, submitting documents that aren't actually officially filed, and thinking that withdrawing a case is a neutral act. Each one seems kind of minor, right? But trust me, the consequences are severe. First up, the online account. So the system expects the petitioner, that's the person filing the case, and the beneficiary, the person who's supposed to get the benefit, to each have their own separate online account. Filing from the wrong account can cause critical updates and notices to be sent to the wrong person, leading to missed deadlines and, yep, potential denials. It's such a simple error, but with huge implications. Next, unfiled documents. And listen, this one is really serious. It's pretty standard to submit a copy of a tax return as evidence, but if that tax return hasn't actually been filed with the tax authorities yet, well, you haven't just made a simple mistake. According to experts, you may have actually committed a crime. The system sees this as misrepresentation, and the penalties can be incredibly harsh. And finally, let's talk about withdrawing a case. For years, if you did this, it was a totally neutral event. No big deal. Well, not anymore. Expert analysis now shows that a case withdrawal is treated as a major red flag. It's actually become a trigger that can prompt immigration enforcement to start an investigation. So what was once a simple reset button is now a potential tripwire for deportation. So when you put it all together, what it shows is that these systems, whether it's tax, immigration, or anything else, they have a logic. And by decoding their incentives, by being proactive, architecting your structure correctly, and avoiding those hidden tripwires, you can actually learn to navigate them effectively. The playbook isn't just about following the rules, it's about understanding the entire game. So the only real question left is, what complex system will you decide to master?